All right, here we are. Hey, welcome. I'm Mark Hinch. I'm here with Steve Verdeen, Scott Castrita, and we are all retired police officers. We got two San Jose retired police officers here and one California Highway Patrol officer, or better known as a chippy. And we appreciate you guys following our stream tonight. We are streaming on all of our platforms. Scott and Steve run fugitive.com, and I run stolen911.com. We are all retired. And so we're across platforms. We are on, let's see, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at least on, I think, 5 platforms tonight. So
it'll be a first.
This is a first. How you doing, Steve?
Doing good, Mark. Just
Steve
letting everybody know to watch the show right now.
Yeah, Steve is texting his family right now with the link. Most likely you guys are watching this on YouTube, but we are actually on, this is the first time we're on the Fugitive Watch Instagram, Scott.
Yeah,
cool.
I hope some people join us. And by the way, happy Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. I know. Okay, we got comments going here. We got Carmen's down there. She says he's watching it all. Cool. And
hi, Carmen.
There you go. And so you can comment, and we will see if we can respond to it. Appreciate you joining. Okay, let's start off the bat. A lot going on, guys. This is going to be fun. Look at this guy. So today, former Congressman Matt Gaetz, he thought he was going to be in the next Attorney General. And
okay, Mark, I hate to say this.
What's that? What's that, Steve?
I think we lost Steve again.
I don't know. Steve, you there?
Yeah, Mark, I'm sorry. I was
okay. Let's
went to YouTube.
Yeah, no. Okay, he's watching the wrong screen. Just right here, guys. Okay, we're all here, guys. Don't shut away. We're not having problems. That's Steve having problems.
That was my fault.
Okay.
Hopefully our problems
the House
went away.
Ethics Committee released a report alleging former Congressman Matt Gaetz engaged in illicit sexual activity, including with a minor and drug use. Gaetz is suing to block the report's release. Well, it's already out. And I was asked by some of our friends that, as cops, what do we think of this? Now, I'm no Matt Gaetz fan, and I don't know if the other two guys are. I don't think they are. I know Scott's not. But I will say that these charges are serious, but he is innocent until proven guilty. And I will say the Department of Justice did not file on him, and apparently they had an opportunity. They reviewed the case and did not file on him. So,
not according to McCarthy. He said they asked him on national television if he was innocent until proven guilty. He said no, he did it.
Yeah, he's got no love from certain Republicans. He pissed off a lot of Republicans when he challenged McCarthy and did not make any friends. But besides that, the political side of that, these allegations are pretty serious. So I have a question for the cops out there that are supporters of the current administration or the administration that's coming in, and maybe you're a supporter of Matt Gaetz. Is this the type of guy you'd want to be your chief of police with these type of allegations coming in? And I don't think anybody would, right? I mean, anyone coming up for it to be a chief of police with these type of allegations coming in would probably not get the job, most likely. And
Mark, he couldn't even coach a little league team. He really couldn't pass the background to be a scoutmaster.
He couldn't even get an application.
Let's remember what the Department of Justice is, right? It's a top cop. The person of that seat is the top cop in the United States. So now the new administration, Trump's administration, has now made some other choices that will most likely pass a Senate review. But there are senators that would not vote for this guy, and he resigned his seat. Resigning his seat also stopped the ethics investigation. So that way it stopped the day he resigned, like 4 or 5 days after the election. And then hopefully he was going to zoom on in to be the next DOJ. But that all ended. And now, politically or not, they released the report. But my opinion, this guy was not the guy to be the top cop. There are way better choices on the Republican side or supporters of the president that can do that job. And I think there's some good senators there that will help move along the candidates that need
Mark,
to into that position.
The current director was a Republican. What was wrong with keeping him?
I'm not sure.
I don't understand.
They didn't vote for me. They didn't vote for me as president, so I should have put my name on the ballot. But so that's my opinion as a cop. This is not one guy I would want to be working for. And like I said, Scott, I know you got a lot of views on this. Steve, and I'm not a fan of his eyebrows either. I'm sorry. I'm a pretty aggressive guy, but those new eyebrows just bug the crap out of me. But that's just me. All right.
Well, he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips, but
Well, he's going to
the
be
word ethics in his name. I mean, Mark, all the stuff that they're talking about that's currently in the news right now, they've been talking about for what, the last almost 10 years through two presidents. I mean, it's not new. It's why is it taking 10 years? And at this point, let me ask you this. This is just the ethics committee investigation. What about the real investigation? If this guy was a real citizen doing the things that, and I mean that, a real citizen, because he's no patriot, he's no citizen. Okay, he's in it for the power. But it wouldn't take 10 years to investigate this thing. And why is it?
In your opinion, he's in it for the power.
Yeah, okay. In my opinion, pretty strong opinion.
Scott, you can now watch him because apparently he's going to get a show on OAN network.
Oh man,
Scott's not been watching the news lately.
Yeah, they canceled that on my TV. I just get like Seinfeld and Young Sheldon. It's not the only thing that comes on my TV now.
That's not it, huh? Okay, all right.
Curb Your Enthusiasm is coming.
In answer to your question, Mark, I don't know why the Justice Department, why he was never charged. It could be a number of reasons. He could have turned states. He could be giving confidential information on somebody else.
Could be.
He could. Maybe there's a statute of limitations problem. Maybe the age was legal in the state where he did it, and it's not legal. Allegedly, yeah, correct, yeah.
Ecstasy, cocaine, all of this while he was a congressman. Those are the allegations. Not someone you want to be chief of police, head of your department. All right.
Well,
and I'm going to say one last thing.
I was referring to the sexual allegations, misconduct. Right. The different states have different age definitions.
I would just say this. I question. I mean, why would you even think, being elected president, that this guy is going to be a good choice for you because of these out? I mean, you got to go now. They got to wait. They're wasting all this time for a month or two of going through all this BS with this guy when he had better choices he could make. And I'm not a fan, but he made his new choice, which are better choices, and now all this, maybe they do it on purpose. I don't know. Not a guy that we want in a law enforcement agency. Okay. We all have flaws. We all have issues. We all have secrets. But it's just, this is not the guy that you want heading up to be the top cop in the United States of America. Well, he's innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what happens.
He's innocent till proven guilty, Mark. And I also, it came out in the January 6th investigation. It came out in several reports. And why was Trump considering him when he denied him a pardon? When he
remember that? Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
He didn't give him a pardon. Because innocent people ask for pardons for something they didn't do. Normally, I think that's how.
Why would you ask for a pardon?
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
I mean,
allegedly, why would you ask for a pardon?
Are these Florida crimes, right? So jurisdictions of Florida, the DAs there would be the ones that press charges. The DAs are political positions. Do they have the political power to do that?
But there's also allegations that they cross state lines, that these young women cross state lines, that they had these parties where they flew to the Caribbean and things like that.
If they had a solid case,
which would make it federal.
Right, and that's why that you would think the DOJ would file on it if they had something solid. Maybe they're scared politically to go after the backlash that would have been if they.
Let's make it. It's simple. It's simple. When you're in a powerful position and you have money with powerful people that back you, you're not held to the same standard. That's just the bottom line. I mean, it's that simple. If he was a math teacher at a local school and he was and this came out, you think he still would have been a math teacher at that local school? And do you think it would take 10 years and they'd still be trying to figure out what he did and everything's still alleged? No,
I don't know.
It's not.
Depends on what books they ban, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, I know we're talking about this, but it's like I think I told you earlier.
Hey,
we need to just concentrate on crimes against real Americans, and because what he did, he's not going to be held accountable.
Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
So, like, we have Senator Bob Menendez, a Democrat, who has been resigns after bribery convictions, right? And they went after him. The Democrats, they're not backing this guy. They like, no, he's crooked,
and they
convicted him, and he resigned.
He's scum.
So I do like the fact that there are Republican senators that are like, no way is this guy going to be the deal.
That's the guy with the gold bars, right? In his closet.
And he's a POS. And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, but I'm not I'm a retired cop, and I believe in what's right is right, and fraudster is a fraudster. It's going to be interesting time coming up, but I'm glad that he's out, and I guess he'll be sporting those eyebrows on OAN.
It will be interesting if he ends up getting a pardon, and then it'll be interesting to see if any of the states go after him. And I'm going to tell you that they're not. They don't want to deal with the political backlash.
Yeah.
So it's just not going to happen. He's just going to walk away from all this and go have a show on some TV, whatever, and spew his hatred.
There's a lot to be saying, and I know a lot of you have different opinions about this stuff, and we're just trying to come from our point of view. We call out a fraudster. A lot of crime to talk about. Hey, real quick, I want to welcome back all the police officers that moved out of California but secretly moved back because the weather where you move sucks. But we love that we love you guys. We're happy that you came back. Montana,
welcome home.
Idaho didn't work out for you. Florida,
welcome
you came
home.
back. And we welcome you back.
And you lost your medical insurance because you moved out of the service area.
Exactly.
And now you're couch surfing on all the retirees that stayed.
I gotta say, guys, I am excited that some of the laws are being changing, and never a fan of those laws that allowed people to stay out of jail and not to get the treatment they need in jail is where they should be getting it. And I'm glad to see that we're going to start hopefully cleaning up some stuff. And I'm hoping that people will see that we need more jails, we need more prisons. I'm sorry, it sounds harsh. That's my opinion. All this is our opinions. This is my opinion.
I'll chip in.
More jails.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You can raise my tax. That's one thing you can raise my taxes for.
Yeah.
I'll chip in.
Is housing for homeless and housing for fugitives. I mean, for bad guys.
Chief McNamara said one time he was asked by the media.
Can you do his voice?
No, I can't.
Okay.
But he said that we have to realize that there's a whole layer of society that will never be productive citizens. They're criminals. That's their lifestyle.
They're mentally impaired and they're not going to. Yeah. That's me.
But there are some criminals, and Steve remembers real quick. I had a guy. Remember my buddy Scooter, Steve? Mm-hmm. That guy. I must have arrested that guy 15, 20 times. I would come into work early. I mean, him and I, we went at because he was just terrible on the community. He was just, he committed so many crimes. And I finally went
he was a menace.
He was a menace. I finally went to the DA and I laid out. They were all misdemeanors. And I laid it all out and I said, look what this guy's doing to the community. What you guys got to do something about this. We put it all together. I got the guy 2 years off a bunch of just misdemeanor stuff. Anyway, I didn't hear from the guy for a while, and then he ends up calling the hotline, talking to Steve. He wanted to talk to me, and I run into the guy, and he tells me, you know what? He goes, he hated me. I mean, we went at it a couple of times. We had a couple fights, but he said, he says, hey, he goes, look at this. I own my own truck. I have a place to live. I work here. I have a job. I'm productive, and he's thanking me for taking him to jail so many times, but it worked. I mean, it was a suck situation to have, but people can change. That's what I'm trying to say. people can change. I do believe that.
Yeah.
And I believe if we have the programs and we have the ability to do that, and sometimes it's just jail.
It is jail, and it's just
takes.
hard time in the programs and the support. And people get older. When I was a auto theft investigator at Radiff in the early 2000s, crystal meth was the big thing. You guys all remember the crystal meth was everywhere, and these people were stealing cars left and right, and some crazy stuff. And I'm going to talk about some of those stories later on. And I followed up with some of these people that I dealt with 20 years ago. But at the time, I was a pretty young officer and knew this stuff. And I thought there was no hope for these people. I thought they'd all be dead within 4 or 5 years. Most of them have turned their lives around, and now they're working and doing things, and they look back and they're not proud of their past, but they've moved on. Most of them have moved on. I was surprised. I ran into one guy at Parolee. After I moved up to Oakland area with the CHP. And I thought I ran into him like 3 years later. He was living on parole in a halfway house. And I was real impressed because I remember him when he was at his lowest low, and I thought there was no hope for this guy. And I remember talking to him, shaking his hand, and wishing him a lot of luck because I was happy to see his improvement. And he was the first one to say, "Yeah, man, I finally shook that demon, and I'm just trying to straighten my life out." And I dealt with this guy many, many times. And then I've looked up other people on social media that I have dealt with over the years, and they seem to be doing all right,
So
Mark,
So
in our line of work, it's really easy to become jaded, and have to develop a really negative attitude on life. But I tell you what, I have met many reformed criminals, and it's actually quite refreshing and renews your faith in mankind to see them become reintegrated into society, become productive members of society, paying taxes, raising their children, going to church, some of them, and it does really renew your faith in mankind.
Hey, I'm going to front Steve out on this one. Thinking of that, this is how bad it can get. Steve went to a call one time. He went to the house. He had no idea who was there. Guy answers the door, sees Steve, and he's like, "You're the guy that shot me." And he's like, he wanted to shake Steve's hand. He says, "Mom, the cop is at the door, the guy that shot me." And the guy was like, "Remember that, Steve?" He calls me up. He goes, "Dude, you aren't going to believe what just happened to me." He goes, and I'm like, so there you go. I mean, it takes different things to turn people's lives around.
Steve, what did he say to you after that? Did he explain himself at all? Or did he?
No, I was really caught flat-footed. I wasn't prepared for that, and I said, I don't want to talk to your mom. I don't want to shake your hand. I just need to know why your car is abandoned in the middle of the street with the lights running.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, he called me that night. He's like, he thought, "Oh wow, this is just weird." I mean, the guy wasn't even mad at him.
No,
well, I mean,
not
I've talked to these people before, and they'll thank you, or I've gotten letters that I wrote before from people I wrote tickets to or fixed tickets to, and you think it's going to be a chew out, and it turns out to be a thank you. Thanks for this, thanks for, or you warned me about my speed and I was having a bad day. Thank you so much. Stuff like that. So it's fun to see you can impact people's lives that way. Okay, so let's look at some crime stuff, and also we're thinking about Santa Cruz right now. And if you guys watch that, in Santa Cruz is going on today. I was just out on that pier last month. And
yeah, first of all, I was going to say a volcano. First, the tornado, and now that pier falls in the ocean.
The pier at Santa Cruz, about a third of it just fell off into the ocean with people on it. I watched one guy get rescued on a jet ski, and I saw a big skid steer, a big piece of construction equipment that was still floating on this.
Well, they said, I guess
that was
they were working on
a bobcat or a skipper or something
bobcat,
like that?
skid steer, yeah, bobcat, yeah.
I guess they were working on it from the last storm, and they're trying to warn people right now because people are trying to go out there and look at it, and they're expecting like 30-foot waves, and it's supposed to be really bad, and they're telling people to stay away.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not going anywhere near the ocean. I just watched that movie La Palma on Netflix. I want to go anywhere near the ocean.
We're gonna get a movie night together. I'll tell you what. I think we should all book a movie night. We'll book one of the theaters, and we'll get everybody to come down and watch a movie with us. Because remember, the three of us went and watched Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. That was the last movie we went to.
That was fun.
Feel,
We're gonna start. We're gonna start
I could feel my IQ just shrinking as I was watching that.
We're gonna do that. We're gonna do a Fugitive Watch movie night where we book a movie theater and have everyone come down and watch movies with Steve and Scott. And
it's like when my son made me take him to go see the movie America, something about America with the puppets. It was
Team America.
Yes.
Yeah,
what did you bring me to?
Yeah, that was God. That was started all the profanity.
Hey, Mark, I don't know if I told you, but I saw a spin-off. I was channel surfing one night and I came across it was called Cocaine Shark, and it was about these dealers, these guys are smuggling drugs, and the cocaine, I guess, falls into the ocean, and these sharks consume it and become. And I'm like, what a rip. I was upset. I go, that's such a ripoff from Cocaine Bear.
Oh my God! Now they're just gonna get a Fetty Bear, but they just die. I know. Oh God, that's horrible. I just said that, right?
I think my son was laughing more at my reaction to Team America than he laughed at the movie.
I know. Well, that's the thing. They're talking about the new administration is actually talking about going after the cartels. Going to be interesting if that goes down. I can see some of that.
So let me ask you: are they just upset they don't want to be out cartelled? Is that what it is?
I could see. I wouldn't, and I could see maybe that being the thing. All right, let's move on. Let's go to this first story here. I'm going to bring up the website. Where are we at here? There we go. Fugitive.com is Scott and Steve's website. Been around for a long time. Steve runs the website and the Facebook page. Scott runs the Instagram. So when you see the stories on there, just make sure you say hi to them. I know some of you are watching this on our Instagram right now, and I'm just going to double check that to make sure it's still working. And there are people are right there. Look at that. Yeah. Scott's got a lot of fans on there. People are watching it. Oh, yeah, I can see. Look at the people watching right now. Wow.
I can't see it.
So now I'm watching on my other screen here. Okay. So the first story we have is first of all, it's Festivus, right, Steve?
Yeah, right.
Okay. So
disappointment.
We have, I think we've already said our disappointments, right? Or are we still are we cool with that? Okay. All right. So
but it's also Christmas Eve.
Christmas
Come
Eve.
on, click on the elf.
I've already told other people I'm disappointed with and what's going on and why I'm disappointed with them. So, all right. So first story, Kentucky State Police have released a partially redacted video of a gunman, Esteban Lowry, shooting Bowling Green police officer Matt Davis multiple times at a local car dealership. Let's watch it and we'll talk about it. Is there audio with this, Scott?
I ain't hang out nowhere. You don't tell me what to do. All right. I tell you what to do. You're a public servant. Okay. You do as I say. So understand it.
Yeah, just hang out in here for me, Esteban.
I ain't got to. So, Jess, when you get the opportunity, don't take my life.
Hey, you hold on. Hey, sit down. Hey, sit down. Hey, sit down.
Stand there.
Hey, of course, he's got a gun.
Stand there. You are a public servant. Stand there.
Get out.
Stand there.
Get out. Esteban, quit. Esteban, quit. Quit. Get out, Esteban. Hey, take cover.
Okay, what just happened? I haven't seen this, so this is really Cops React, because I have not seen this at all.
All right, I'm going to tell you that's hard to watch, and I give you the background on it. The officers were responding to a car dealership where this guy is claiming to be one of those sovereign citizens, which basically just means they can do what they want. And he's saying that their belief is all property not belonging to somebody is considered, like all the cars on the lot are considered unclaimed property, and he's claiming it. So he was claiming he wanted some Tahoe that was out there on the lot, and they were trying to explain to him that's not how it works. They called for the police to come in because the guy was getting a bit on the agitated side, and he had a bunch of phony legal paperwork or whatever he was trying to submit to them. And the officer shows up. Now, this officer has a ride-along with him, and apparently the ride-along is a military. He's Army. He's a specialist who's interested in looking at getting into police work. So the reason I bring him up is he plays a big part in this story.
Steve, I know you were a sheriff. Steve, I know you were a sheriff's deputy prior, and I have my own experience with these types up there on the Lexington Reservoir, SR-17, when I was a highway patrol officer. And I know you got a lot of experience with it. All these constitutional issues always had a ragged copy of the Constitution in their back pocket, and they would basically tell us that we had no authority to deal with them.
Yeah, this sovereign citizen movement, they just don't recognize any government, and they're quite fanatical, and they've been around for a long time, and they're very dangerous to law enforcement. The father and son sovereign citizens killed a police officer not too long ago in the Midwest, and they right around the corner from where I used to live was a beautiful Ponderosa home. And the homeowner was a sovereign citizen and was refusing to pay his income tax. And eventually the IRS came and took his house away. Wow. And if you go, I mean, the IRS is they have a whole page on their website explaining that's not how it works. Okay. So don't get wrapped. Don't fall into that sovereign citizen trap, because they're quite convincing. They hold these little seminars, at a Denny's or a hotel conference room, and they convince these people that they can become sovereign citizens and they don't have to answer to anybody, and the government has no authority on them. And,
all right, let's watch the rest of the video, and we'll come back to this second here. So let's go over here.
Kind of like timeshare presentations.
The ride along has his own body camera? No, I'm joking.
No, this is his backup.
Baker 4. You got a hold of 147?
147 about these an hour.
Hands up! Get hands up! Is anybody else in here? Anybody else in here?
No, just me.
See, they don't know if the ride along is the gunman or a ride along, because he's obviously in civilian clothes.
And the guy in the
sorry guys, I can't hear you. So say again. Sorry, go ahead.
The responding backup officers, they take the ride along into custody because they don't know if he's the gunman or if he's a witness or who he is.
And that's a safety thing, and it's understandable. That's understandable.
This guy right here that you see in the short sleeves and with the vest on, he was off duty apparently. He saw the patrol cars going. He overheard. He figured they needed help, so he strapped up. There was a couple of guys that were off duty that showed up to help out, and this guy was off duty at the time. And
obviously the officers know him, so there's no issue there. Yeah. That happened during the. Hey, real quick, to get on that. That happened during the. I was there that day. I had just left during the Garlic Festival shooting, or officers. There was highway patrol officers there. There was other police officers there that ran to some of the patrol cars and grabbed weapons out of those patrol cars that were there. And I know one of my friends was a CHP officer. He was an off duty. He actually ran out to one of the patrol cars and got an AR-15. Because no one knew at that time the shooting had just happened. It was a pretty chaotic day. I just walked away from there like an hour before all that happened.
Yeah, well, this is a small agency, Mark. So obviously the off-duty officers felt comfortable responding to the scene, but I have responded when I was a San Jose PD to calls that for help from undercover officers from task force. And I arrived and I didn't recognize anybody there. Yeah. And they're all walking around. They look like dirt bags and they're waving guns around. And I don't know who the dirt bag is and who the undercover officer are.
So let me get you guys caught up to this part, because as I said, this video is pretty much redacted quite a bit. So
yes, it is.
What ends up happening is they get a lot of backlash about, why did the officer go in there? Why didn't he wait for his fill? Why did he go up? He shouldn't have done. They money quarterback that part of the call. And I'm sure Steve and you, Mark, we've all done it. We hear a call, we go, that sounds like, you know what, I'm just going to go in and check it out, see how it's going. Well, once he got in there and saw how agitated this guy was, He was just trying to de-escalate the guy the whole time. If you watch, I've watched other videos. He's just trying to de-escalate the guy, waiting for his fill to get there. But the one thing, if you watch the video even closer, you'll see when the guy turns, you'll see the bulge of the gun on his right side. And that's where the weapon was. And when he pulled that thing out, he pointed it right at the officer, basically at the officer's head. And that officer turned and ran. Now, here's another thing that's coming out again, Monday morning quarterbacking. And they're saying that, why did the officer run? Why did he turn and run? Why didn't he draw his weapon and shoot? Well, apparently the alleged thing that he's saying is that he felt that it was such close quarters, he didn't want to get in a gunfight inside that little office because there was a chance of too many people getting shot. I mean, that was what he said. But in what ends up happening, what you don't see, it's not really clear in this video, is as he's running and he gets away and he's yelling which I commend him, telling everybody there's a guy with a gun, so people get the heck out of there, right? I mean, that's a good thing. But as you can see, the guy's tracking him with the weapon. The officer, this is the part I don't understand, and maybe and I'm sure you guys don't. He didn't pull out his duty weapon. He pulled his taser out. And apparently he shot the guy at the same time as the guy was shooting at him. And he hit him with the taser. He dropped him. But that guy unloaded 16 bullets in a matter of probably less than a second. He unloaded, and he hit the officer multiple times. Luckily, the officer lived. And
he even shot himself in the foot because of the taser.
Wow. Yeah, because when the taser, and if you've ever seen somebody get tased, and well, I've been tased. I'll tell you, you just lose all motor function, and you just they call it planking. When you see the guy go down, they call it, because they just plank straight down.
Yeah, they did a lot of screaming when everyone's getting tased.
So now I got you up to that part.
All right, let's go. We only got like 30 seconds left of the video. Let's watch the rest of it, and then we'll
okay.
What's up, everybody? You been out there? No. Who's here with him? Davis. You ready? What's up? I'm right here with you. Go right. Jonas is going to escort too.
Where are other units needed anywhere?
So a big part of that video obviously is missing, and what you don't see, and apparently some of the stuff I read, if you hear the phone calls that was made, so the real hero in this was that ride-along, was that Army specialist, because apparently he finally said, you know what, I'm not going down like this. This guy going to start shooting everybody. And he jumped on that guy and got him in a chokehold. And he held that guy so tight, he did end up killing the guy. But apparently during this whole thing, he's yelling for help. The specialist said, somebody come help me. He needed help to restrain the guy. He didn't want to hold this guy like that, because he knew the consequences. And so I think he's truly the true hero in this, because there were people kicking the guns out of the way and kicking the taser out of the way, because apparently one of the theories or the things I heard is when he was shot, when he was tasing the guy, when the officer got shot, he dropped the taser and it broke the connection, the probe, and that's what enabled the guy to continue to shoot. And he ran out of rounds, and they later found he had a full magazine and more bullets in his backpack. So this thing, thank God that the ride-along jumped in, because this thing could have got a whole lot worse. And this is the part that really hit. I really felt for this ride-along when he said, one of the things that they said was would you have done anything different, or how about what you had done? And he said, I think the outcome would have been different if somebody would have come to help me when I was screaming for help. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how many people were in that building. I know people heard him screaming for help. They said they heard him screaming for help. But the bottom line is he got off the guy and he told the officers that arrived, he said, I killed him, basically. I strangled him.
All right. We're going to.
One of the witnesses, the witness who kicked the gun away, according to the media reports, he told the police that he did not help the man because he was following company procedures, and that was to evacuate all the employees out of the building in an active shooter situation.
Right.
And,
hey, real quick,
I don't know. You hang on, Mark. You guys may be able to answer this, but I remember in the old days when I first started that there used to be a law called Posse Comitatus in California that if a police officer requested your assistance, you were required, if you were 18 years or older, I believe, or maybe 21 back in then, but I think it was 18, you were required to lend assistance to the officer.
Wow.
And you could, it was a misdemeanor to refuse to assist the officer who was asking for help.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's still a law, but I do remember that.
Does anybody in the comments know that? I want to mention the comments real quick. If you can comment live, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And I do want to shout out, guys, real quick. One of my old crime fighting partners, Zombie Cat from the Highway Patrol, says hi. She's a big fan of Fugitive Watch, Stolen 911, and Kelly Joe's a great crime partner, a great crime fighter. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for watching. And I would say I'm not a fan. We've all run into these guys, and they it's always a better attitude. And it's just a lot of them are just, requires a supervisor to come out because they just won't talk to you. And there's these great videos on YouTube on it. Maybe we'll watch some of those. But you got to be really, really careful. There was a lot of incidents back up there on the Santa Cruz side of the mountain there, of the 17, where some incidents happened years ago. Steve, I got to say, you've been around a long time. You used to carry a sap with you. Did you used to have one of those saps that go around?
Actually, I did. Yeah.
You did? Okay.
That was a long time ago.
A long time ago. Okay. All right.
Also, I think one of the reports on this, also the toxology report, of course, the guy they're saying had meth in his system and some other stuff. So the drugs, I didn't even recognize what it was.
Right. All right, let's move on to the next one here. This is a cruise ship passenger dies. Cruise ship passenger, Royal Caribbean Cruise Line reports that an unruly cruise ship passenger identified as Michael Virgil has died after being detained by staff, and part of the incident was caught on camera. I have no idea what this is. Let's nobody I know. But sometimes it is. Sometimes I know that dude, or it's a relative. Yeah, okay.
A cruise ship passenger who was reportedly drunk and unruly on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship has died. Fox 11's Haley Winslow, who broke this story originally, is live for us again tonight, new at 6. Haley.
Yeah, Alex, I spoke to a family member of the man who died on the cruise ship. He was aboard with his little son and his wife, some other family members. They say his enraged behavior was completely uncharacteristic of him, that he's a very nice person, and they're trying to get to the bottom of exactly what happened, but they're absolutely devastated, as is the man we introduced you to yesterday, who videotaped the incident.
I haven't seen this. Are they going to blame someone, Scott?
Yes.
Oh God. Okay. I'll just stop you right there. Okay. All right. Let's watch it out. Let's watch it.
Give my condolences to the family, and I'm really sorry. Nobody deserves to die, especially like that.
Shocked and saddened, Christopher McHale says he's heartbroken. No! To learn an unruly cruise ship passenger has died. The coroner's office confirms 35-year-old Michael Virgil died aboard Royal Caribbean's Navigator of the Seas.
May he rest in peace. He just needed some help.
It was supposed to be a fun cruise to Mexico, water slides, hot tubs, even an escape room on board. But an hour after departing the port out of San Pedro, McHale got off the elevator on the wrong floor and started making threats, screaming profanity and racial slurs.
The gentleman that was drunk said that he was going to kill us, and then he started chasing us down the hallway. The crew member that I was running with was able to lock himself in one of the towel rooms.
McHale says Virgil injured 2 crew members and then captured video of him trying to get to that crew member
Look at that.
By kicking the door to the towel room with his steel-toed boots.
And he was asking for God to forgive him. I mean, I forgive him. You know, I'm not God, but I forgive him. It's alcohol.
He wasn't chasing you.
Virgil is surrounded by security. Mikhail says they used bear or pepper spray, towels, zip ties, and eventually handcuffs to detain Virgil.
And that's what they have, right? They obviously don't have any tasers there.
Oh, it gets better.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's keep going.
One of his family members says security injected Virgil with some sort of sedative.
Really?
Within an hour, he died. The family member says Virgil's enraged behavior is completely uncharacteristic of him and that he was a good man who leaves behind a wife and 7-year-old son also aboard the cruise.
I'm very sorry for what you guys are going through, and if you guys need anything, please reach out. God bless you.
So you guys remember those stories of San Jose a few years back?
Shirtless and
the guy who San Jose PD tasered a very overweight man and ended up dying.
Yeah, it happens.
And it happens, right? And the guy was like 300 something pounds, high on cocaine. And I remember all the inquiries into this, that tasers are bad, tasers are bad, tasers are bad. I mean, stuff like this is going to happen. This is the real world. Things are going to go down like this. And this crew's probably trying to handle it the best they can. I guess there'll be an inquiry in this and we'll see what happens. But right now, what I don't know what I would have done different if we don't have a taser and all you can do is try to subdue the guy. I don't know if anyone's on there. It's just all security and
yeah, it just looks like the staff. I mean, I watched the video a few times. I watched a couple other ones. I was just kind of curious myself. And I don't know why he hated the crew member that he chased. That door he's trying to kick is the guy's hiding in the towel room from this guy. And I'm not quite sure. And of course, you know, I'm sure that they're saying he was injected with the sedative, but I would like to see the toxology report to see what else he had besides. He may have just had copious amounts of alcohol in his system.
Yeah, but
I don't know
how drunk can he get. They've only been the ship was only an hour leaving the port, and look at the size of that man. How much liquor did he have to drink in an hour to get that crazy? You know, and who wears steel-toed boots on a cruise?
He could have pre-partied before they got there. You know, a lot of people do that, drinking at the airport.
Wait a minute.
Well, you can't blame that on the cruise line if he pre-partied.
Wait, right. Scott, do you know that by experience?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We're laughing. I know it's serious. I'm sorry, but we're retired. Do what we want. I'm sorry, people, if we're offending anybody. A lot of times we get through stuff like this by laughing and talking through it. I feel for this guy's family. I really do. I don't know what to say. I'm very interested to see what the history of this guy is, what's going on. Maybe. And
I'm curious about
maybe he shouldn't have been drinking, and maybe that's an issue.
The sedative that they say he was injected with, I'm really curious where they got that information or what it was.
If it's true,
and maybe because I'm expecting this is just my making this up. I have no idea, but maybe he was under the influence of something, and it wasn't a sedative. Maybe they gave him Narcan or they gave him something to bring him down. Maybe he was, you know, his heart was going a million miles a minute, and they were afraid they needed to bring it down. I mean, we don't know.
Maybe he got roofied.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
But I tell you what, I mean, it's here we go. Another story. I think every week, Mark, we're doing a story about people that step up to help, or people that are doing their job, and then when somebody passes away, it's like, hero or zero, what's it going to be?
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
It all depends on how it's covered by the media. It all depends on, you know, how is he going to be a hero or is he going to be a zero? Is he going to get charges pressed against him? You know, I don't know. And again, we don't know what the policy, we don't know what the ship's policy is. But I do know they have medical doctors on the ship. I've met them before.
And I saw the Love Boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I've only been
don't
on.
know if they were. I don't know if they were international waters. If whose jurisdiction, who has jurisdiction on that?
Yeah.
Normally,
What
it's
what a
the
mess.
country that the ship is flagged under. If it's if it's flagged under the
Right.
Bahamas or Panama, then they have jurisdiction.
Who knows? Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you any of you have the answer? How does that work? How does the shipping maritime law work in a situation like this? Who's got the authority? Who investigates this? And that's I don't know this stuff. So
Yeah,
we're asking
if
you
they've
in
only been
comment
out of
or
port for an hour, they could possibly
right.
still be in American territorial waters. I don't know.
Right. Hey, again, we just want to thank you guys for watching us. I appreciate it. We're just reacting to a bunch of stuff that's going on in the news right now. And I appreciate everyone watching us on Instagram, both at Stolen 911, the Stolen 911, and Fugitive Watch, and then on our Facebook pages and our YouTube, obviously. Thank you very much. We got a couple more to go through here. And let's see where we're at. Let me figure out how to work this thing. And we are in Austin police officer Christopher Taylor sentenced to 2 years prison in shooting death. All right. Let's find is this the right one here, Steve? All right, or Scott. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and play this.
This evening, we have never before seen body camera footage from a 2019 police shooting.
Officer Christopher Taylor is now on trial for a deadly conduct charge related to that shooting. He and another officer shot and killed Maurice De Silva while responding to a mental health call. 911 callers reported De Silva, there you see him, was walking around his condo complex with a knife to his throat.
Prosecutors say De Silva wasn't a danger and officers didn't need to fire. Taylor's attorneys say De Silva came close enough to pose a threat to officers, and Taylor acted in defense of himself and others. KXAN's Brianna Hollis joins us live now from the courthouse. Bree, walk us through this video.
So the court walked through this footage during the roughly 4-hour testimony of Officer Joseph Cast. Cast was with Taylor when Taylor shot De Silva. Cast fired a taser. The video you're about to see shows what happens when the elevator doors opened and police saw De Silva with a knife.
Let me see your hands.
Our first look at what really happened the day Maurice De Silva was killed.
Ooh.
We'll slow the video down. You'll see when the elevator opens, De Silva is looking into the mirror with the knife at his throat. He starts to turn as the door opens, and then officers begin shouting commands.
Let me see your hands.
We'll pause it here to show you where the knife is right before Taylor started shooting. While questioning Officer Cass about this video, prosecutors worked to support their stance that De Silva wasn't threatening officers, asking Cass questions about his thoughts in the moment you see displayed on the monitor.
Is he actively using deadly force against you or the other officers in the elevator as depicted and stated to the number 96? Actively, no. Okay.
Oh, wow. That's a big statement right there.
Wow.
You said you described it as preparatory, is that right?
Yes.
So you were concerned that the next thing that he may do would be to use force against you, is that correct?
Yes.
Body cam video from before officers got into the elevator shows
This is
Cass
important.
this video of De Silva looking into the surveillance camera and telling the other officers what he sees.
Yes, he's still out the knife. He's holding up to the camera.
After that, video shows Taylor and the other officers discussing which levels of force to potentially confront De Silva with. And they decide Taylor and another officer will hold guns, Cass will hold a taser, and the other officer will be prepared to use his hands, all while they're in the elevator getting ready to head to the 5th floor where De Silva is killed.
Not fun to look at.
No, and one of the videos I heard, you could hear them talking about, I mean, they were formulating a plan. Okay, this is our plan. That's what we're going to do. You got gun, you got this, you got, okay. So they had a plan. And of course, I wasn't there. So I can't tell you how they felt when that door opened and he was standing there. And so I know that they said that the one guy shot his taser. It's hard to tell by this video if he shot it and it didn't have any effect. And it's hard to say. I mean, if the guy's going to come into the elevator, they're going to be cornered in that elevator. But their department, Steve, if I'm not wrong, they were cleared right by their department, and they were cleared by their DA But then,
no, they were not cleared by the DA. They were cleared by the department. The
they were
DA
cleared
charged
by the
them.
department. They were okay. They were cleared by the department. I thought there were two entities that they went through. But anyway, they were they were cleared, but then the DA went ahead and charged them anyway, and that's the outcome.
And two Austin.
This is Texas. This isn't California. This isn't
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
2 Austin police chiefs both testified that his use of force was justified.
That's probably what I remember. Okay. All right, go on.
No. So I was just saying this is Texas, not California, not some East Coast blue state or something like this. Is Texas, very law enforcement friendly.
And the department's position is that he did what he was trained to do. That he was justified. He didn't do anything wrong. He did what we trained them to do.
Does the 20-foot rule still apply? Are they still using that?
I'm not sure about that. I've been retired.
Do you guys know any activity?
I don't know.
Anybody active still know that 20-foot rule is still a thing? I know when I was we were dealing with how to deal with different emotional states of people. That was kind of the big focus, and obviously that's going on here. I'm curious though. Did I miss it? I'm sorry. Maybe I was doing technical stuff. Why the elevator? Why didn't they use the stairs?
I think it was how many floors up it was. Is why they took.
You can go this floor. I'm sorry. I'm going to Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, I know. I thought the same.
You can go
thing.
the floor below, floor above, and
above.
do it that way, right? I'm just sorry.
Yeah.
I don't understand putting yourself so close to or maybe they didn't think he was that close to the door. I don't know. So that's the same.
I thought the same. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking I probably would have went to the floor below and a floor above, and then came in. But I mean, again, we weren't there, so we don't know how volatile the guy was moving around. If there other people were being threatened, but the bottom line is that his own department says he did what he was trained to do, but they're looking at it and say, well, then you need to change your policies. Well, so what? You're going to throw this guy in prison for doing what he was trained to do, for doing what he was trained to do?
Yeah.
And I believe that's a stand your ground state, correct?
I believe so. Yes.
So if that was a citizen that was in that position and he shot him, would he be treated the same way as the cop? I don't know.
Always
the question about whether to take the stairs or the elevator is a tactical question. It still does not give permission, for the suspect to accost you with a knife.
No, it does not.
And I'm telling you that you can close that distance. He can close that in a fraction of a second.
Right.
And we have a story. I don't know if we have time to get to it, where 2 police officers were stabbed by a suspect who was that close to him, because they delayed. They were unable to shoot him.
We're up on that one next. Let's just go there right now. This is Bay City Department of Public Safety press release. Suspect stabs 2 officers after using 1-year-old as a shield. Is that right, Steve?
That's correct.
All right. Let's go.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
The man who investigators say stabbed 2 Bay City police officers while using his 1-year-old child as a human shield was arraigned today.
It was after midnight on Wednesday morning when Bay City officers were trying to apprehend the man who was accused of violating his bond. And Terry, the man is facing some more serious charges now.
Yes, 5 charges in all. 23-year-old Eshawn Langston has been convicted of attempting to assault police officers before, and now he faces 4 felonies in this latest incident. The good news here, the officers are recovering from their injuries.
They're both doing well, in good spirits. Take a little bit to recover from their injuries, but they're doing well.
Bay City Public Safety Director Caleb Rowell talking about the 2 officers injured early Wednesday morning. The officers came here to the 1100 block of Jackson in Bay City, where they attempted to arrest Eshawn Langston for violating his bond. He was to have no contact with the mother of his 1-year-old child. When the officers approached Langston's car, who had the child with him, he refused to exit the vehicle.
And he said multiple times they'll have to kill him before they get him out of that car. And there were several threats made.
The officers broke one of the windows to try to arrest Langston. This video from a distance appears to show Langston then ramming one of the police cars. Officers say Langston was using his 1-year-old child as a human shield to avoid arrest. Once they were able to get him out of the vehicle, he pulled out a pocket knife with a 3-inch blade, wounding the 2 officers.
The one officer was cut on his inner leg, on the thigh. The other one was in the abdomen area.
The child was not injured.
The opportunity to watch the body camera video from the incident, it's very disturbing. You could tell, it was a very volatile situation, and the officers really did a great job dealing with what they had in front of them.
Mark, the second video has the body cam video.
Oh, it's on there. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, this is another one of those things where it's just, oh, here's one here. Okay,
right
yeah.
there.
The second video. I mean, this is one of the situations where you got to make quits. You got to make a split-second decision. That's the life of a police officer, and you're going to be judged on what you do by all sides, depending on what the outcome was.
Right now, we're gonna have to move because this is not gonna be good. Eshawn, bro, give me my little cousin. Okay, I'll read you the exact conditions. Okay. Around my child. Okay. I'm not speaking. I'm the one that's there. I haven't been there. Eshawn, I'll explain everything to you once you step out.
You told him he's got the bond conditions, right? Yes.
What's up?
You told him the new bond conditions.
And the other thing about this is that not only they got to focus on this guy, they got to think about everything going on around them. Who's in support of this guy? Who may come out, and try something else, or maybe a family member is yelling, screaming, at the cops. All these other issues. A lot going on here, man. A lot going on.
The Watts riot, Mark. The Watts riot started with 2 highway patrolmen trying to arrest a drunk driver because he was not cooperative, and the crowd got agitated. And next thing you know, we turned into one of the worst race riots that the United States has ever had.
Right.
I'm going to explain it to him right now. Make that make sense. You cannot, bro, let my cousin out the car.
I know you're trying to help, but yelling isn't going to help.
Eshawn, as a man, bro, you going to have to deal with this, bro.
He's not even in a car seat, Eshawn. What are you doing? Oh, my God.
Get my child. I got my child for my cousin.
He's not in a car seat. What are you doing? Get my cousin on the car. He needs to get a
That's what court's for. That's what court's for.
The situation sucks. All the family there. This guy's obviously losing it, and it just I feel for these guys.
One of my thought processes, the officer that just walked between the front of the car, between the 2 cars.
Right.
You
know about the bond conditions, right?
Yes, I do know about it.
So
I didn't violate my bond.
You did, though.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so listen, it was.
I've been at my end.
Listen.
I didn't violate my bond.
You were here earlier today.
No, I wasn't.
It was updated and lean.
Okay, I've been at my end.
Listen.
Even if I was here, I've been at my end.
On the 5th
They criticize us for not de-escalating the situation. There is no de-escalating this guy. What are you going to tell this guy de-escalate? He's not listening to reason.
The hard part, he's got that little boy in the car with him.
No contact with her.
Yeah.
Got my son off to my aunt.
Yelling isn't going to help.
Okay, well, y'all trying to say I violated my bond, and I did it.
We have probable cause to believe that you violated your bond. Okay.
And then you'll see him he'll take the little boy and as a shield when he attacks the officers.
Yelling isn't going to help.
Allegedly.
So I haven't violated my bond. Therefore, you guys are here for no reason.
It's a reason.
I haven't violated my bond.
Stop and listen for a second. Just listen to me for a second.
At all.
Listen, we have probable cause to believe you violated your bond. You are under arrest for a bond violation. Okay?
How?
You are under arrest.
So you talk to him till you're blue in the face, Mark.
Yeah, it's not gonna change this guy's mind. He's still gonna do what he's gonna do.
He might be under the influence of alcohol or drugs and impairing his judgment.
I think I would just, as an officer, I would just keep bringing it back to the kid. Hey, man, let's get the kid out of the situation. Hey, let's think about your son. Let's think about, I don't know what the relationship with the child is there, but let's think about him and maybe try to reason with them that way, as far as something to do to distract.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
So if you can,
bro, we're not.
Listen, you know how it works. If you refuse, you're gonna get a
You have to kill me because I ain't break the law.
You're getting a resisting
Y'all
charge.
gonna have to kill me.
Okay. We will take you out of the car. Okay. Unlock the door.
So he's telling him to F off. He's got the kid in the car. I do not envy these guys.
And you're gonna have to kill me.
And again, Mark, the longer this goes on, the greater the potential for the crowd to get bigger and bigger, and then people tell, say the cops are doing this, the cops are doing that, and next thing you know, you wind up with a hostile crowd.
I told you you're under arrest for a bond violation. Okay.
Yeah, you might need to fast forward it to the point where he attacks the officers. I don't know how long this thing goes on. It goes on for quite a while.
It's all the same stuff, right?
Yeah, all the same stuff until he finally comes out of the car. I think right about there.
All right, hit it. Hit the window. Hit the window. Taser.
Taser. Taser.
Where's the baby?
Pop this one too. Pop this window. Shut your eyes.
Oh my God. There's a lady there too.
All the family involved and the neighbors. And
grab the baby. Get the baby out of there.
Yeah.
Get the baby out of there.
Oh, y'all got my car, bitch.
He's dry stunning them.
What do you need? Here's the other arm. Ah, fuck! Oh, shit!
I think I'm stabbed.
I'm stabbed.
So am I.
Oh, fuck!
So am I. They're both stabbed. Both officers stabbed.
We were stabbed.
The one guy got stabbed on the inside of the thigh. You know how dangerous that can be.
Yep. You got a major artery and bleed to death.
So what's the status with this case?
I believe he is in custody. He's charged with assault on the officers.
Yeah, both officers are
allegedly
recovering. Yeah, allegedly.
Baby's okay.
Yes, the baby's okay.
Well, that is again, I think the officers showed great restraint. At some point, they got to make a move. And man, would you see that one lady trying to get into the car there while this is going down? They got to be panicking for the kid. I get it, and it's just the whole thing sucks.
See, I don't think, and that's the thing that a lot of people, when they start, we keep calling it Monday morning quarterbacking, or Facebook convicting. They don't realize that how intense this is. You're, as an officer, and I was just watching that, and it just like I got PTSD thinking about all the people, just the time you spend just trying to de-escalate. Please just go along with the program. Let's not take this to that next step. We don't need to go there. But there was just no reasoning with that guy. And we could call it mental illness. We could say he was under the influence of something, whatever it is.
Or a combination of both.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's like, just go along with the program. Do what you're supposed to do. If you didn't do anything wrong, then let that come out in court. But doing this isn't going to change that outcome for this guy. And
the officers wind up with the first strike is that police violence never looks good. It just, it's not a pretty picture. And people, the average bearer, the average citizen who's never experienced combat or being in that kind of situation, just does not understand, and it just doesn't look good. There's, police violence, even when it's justified, it doesn't look good. You're starting off with one strike against you.
And that guy could have easily.
Zombie Cat says here, what a coward. Who puts a baby through something like that?
Yeah, well, these people, they only care about themselves and the outcome for themselves. They don't think about other people, most of them. But I mean, that guy could have easily come out with a heck of a lot bigger knife than a 3-inch blade, or he could have came out with a gun and that whole thing. And I know that the officers at one point, you're sitting there going, like, what level? I heard him yell, just tase him, break the window, tase him. It's like, okay, that sound, that you want to do that, and you can hear them, they're trying. I don't, obviously, and again, it didn't look like to me that the taser had any effect on them.
Right.
Because people, I don't know if people know, but tasers, you don't have to just shoot people with tasers. There's a thing called dry stunning, and that's where you can pull the cartridge off the front of the taser, and you can just.
That's the type of tasering I submitted to. I just did the
yeah. But I did see all the wire though, so it looks like somebody did try to shoot it into him.
Yeah.
But but sometimes I've seen tasers have absolutely no effect on people. I saw a guy just stand there one time and he just took the probes and went
right.
I've seen gunshots not have any effect on people.
Right.
True. Yeah.
Okay. We've been over an hour. It's pretty cool. Hey, we appreciate you watching us. We had a lot of technical difficulties the last couple of weeks. We figure we're on StreamYard now. It's our first time using it. And I think it's worked pretty good. Scott, Steve, what do you guys see
it's great. No, 5 stars, Mark. You get 5 stars.
5 stars.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We
Technical
want to
difficulties on Christmas Eve.
Yes. And remember, you could follow Scott and Steve at fugitive.com. It's been around since 1992. You can follow me, Stolen 911, social media, hinchpi.com. And man, we just want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and thank you for watching. I think we're going to see Steve maybe on Christmas Day. We're probably going to get together, maybe. Scott. We're all going to party on New Year's, probably, right? I think.
Yeah.
We'll be back before then. Are we going to have a show next Monday night?
I hope so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know about you, Steve, but Scott and I are both survivors of drunk drivers on duty. And both of us have been involved in some pretty serious
So is Steve.
So I think next week we're going to share some of our incidents.
I retired because of a drunk driving accident.
Yeah. So guys, think about that. Remember that when you're driving around. We have some stories to share next week, next Monday night on New Year's, whatever else is going on in the news.
I think it'll be a good time to share those because people need to understand that drinking and driving, it's a choice. And it's, I mean, I know I nearly got killed. You nearly got killed.
Yeah.
And
well,
Steve
I tell you,
got killed.
Yeah. And I still have the back issues. I think a lot of us have our own issues, but we got through it. But we've seen some bad stuff too. I can remember some DUI crashes, just horrific, and I'll never get those images out of my head. So make sure you designate
Highway Patrol.
Make sure you designate a designated driver when the three of us go out.
Uber,
Scott and I are drinking the Basil Hayden, and Steve's got the Diet Coke.
That's
it. That's the way it goes.
I'm the
DD.
Designated driver, not drunk driver.
Yeah, and you can also check us at copsreact.com. is coming online and the YouTube channel, and we'll be breaking some of these down to smaller videos. And if you have something you want us to share, please. Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas, Steve, Scott. Talk to you guys later.
Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.